Welcome to Golf Weekly. As always, I'm your host, Daniel Cort, and we're all back together again.
We're back in the house.
The Chris is in the house. Guys, good to see you.
Nice to be here.
Good to be here.
We've got a lot to talk about. We're doing our weekend review, as we've come accustomed to. But before we start, it's not golf related, it's sports related. I wanted to do a quick shout out to the Bluffton boys. Well, the Bluffton football team. I don't know if they have a
Pretty impressive bunch.
Girls team. Pretty impressive bunch. I will say, Debbie and I went to a game 2 years ago, and they lost to Berkeley by 1 point or something in that game. But you could tell there was something special about this team and the offense that they were running. They've only gone on since then, in the last 3 years, to have a 37-4 record. They went to the state Class 3A championship last year, lost, but got all the way to the finals. In their first year in 4A this year, they've only gone 11-1, won their first playoff game last week. They unfortunately had the unenviable task of facing Goose Creek on Friday night, who is ranked by USA Today and ESPN top 10 in the country.
It's a good test for them.
It's a good test. It could be one of those Miracle on Ice 1980 deals.
You never know.
That's
We've
right.
seen stranger things happen.
We have, and this team actually has enough talent. If everything goes their way, they get a few turnovers and breaks, they can win this game. So guys, congratulations, Coach Cribb, to you and your team. You not only have stuck together and created a new tradition for all of us Bluftonians to appreciate, but you brought the community together, and it's really exciting to see what happens in future years. So kudos to you guys. Keep it up. Guys, week in review.
Last week of regular play on the PGA
When
Tour.
you wish upon a star, dreams do come true. The guys go to Disney. It's the Children's Miracle Network Championship, and Charlie Beljan gets carted off the course on Friday, has an anxiety attack, taken to the hospital.
Yep.
Comes back and wins. I mean, is this for real? You think?
It was really some story. You know, when he was in the hospital on Friday night, they ran all these tests on him, and the doctors convinced him that, Charlie, we can't find anything that's wrong. You know, if you feel up to it, get back out there. And he said, and I was listening to the golf show this morning on the Golf Channel, and he didn't even think he was going to walk out of that hospital to play on Saturday, but 2 days later, he's a winner, and he jumps from 139th on the money list up to 63rd, which since he finishes in the top 70, he's exempt into all the invitationals for next year. So his schedule for next year has changed very quickly.
You think he might have gone over there and got on that like Peter Pan ride and maybe a sprinkle of pixie dust?
I think he went to Cinderella's Castle.
Cinderella's Castle.
Well, you know, the good thing,
gracious.
the best thing about the story was the fact that he stayed in the lead and kept the lead.
Right.
The whole time.
The whole entire time,
he really
coming
did.
straight out of the hospital, and I mean, just played like nothing happened.
Well, we've talked about this before on the show. Sometimes it seems that a diversion in golf can be advantageous.
Very much.
The injured golfer, or the golfer that maybe has something big going on in his life that's away from golf. It's like they almost get to relax. Their mind goes into sort of a state of subconscious, and they're just able to play.
He's just worried about getting around the golf course,
That's
you
right.
know, and like you said, his mind is in a state of subconsciousness, and a lot of times that works out better for the golfer, as it did for him this weekend. So congratulations to him. That was an awesome victory.
Yeah, I mean, really, that one victory can change your life. We've seen it happen a number of times on the tour recently. What else is
Well,
going
you know,
on
one
in
of the
golf?
things with the tournament ending this week is that the final of the money list was done. The top 125 are fully exempt into events for next year. Tim Herron also made a jump. He went from number 136 up to 124, but anytime two people jump up and get into the top 125,
Two people drop down.
Two people got to go the other way.
It's hard to jump over Lumpy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a challenge for anybody.
Wow.
Exactly.
Good
So
grief.
Charlie
He
not
has
only
lost
won,
some
but he
weight.
had to jump over
Had to
Lumpy
jump
in the
over Lumpy.
process.
He has lost some weight, though. They said he's dropped a few
The two
pounds.
guys that ended up going out are Billy Mayfair went from 125 to 128, and Rodney Pampling went from 124 to 127. So those two will
tough
be
break.
partially exempt
No, you're
going
right on
into
the
next
line.
year. If they so choose to go back and do some Q school in a couple weeks, they will go right to the final stage. So
Last year of Q School also.
That's right.
yeah, so you
That's
don't
it.
like to say they've got that going for them, which is nice, but I guess
Yeah.
things could be worse. And, you know, looking at the money list also, we had a lot of other players' names that I think we know very well that you might be surprised were above the 125 line. Jerry Kelly, 126, and he almost got into the top 125. He missed by about $1,000.
Wow.
But he'll be able to use a career earnings
That's right.
exemption next
keep
year.
him
He's
through.
got like over 23 million. more
Yeah,
on tour.
he's a money machine.
Yep.
Always finishes
Be nice
high.
if he bought a new razor to. Yeah, never mind. Trevor Immelman, 129.
Former
DJ
Masters
Trahan.
champion.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right. DJ Trahan grew up here on Hilton Head for a good part of his youth. 132. Gary Woodland, 134. Injured part of the year. Still has a year exemption left from a win last year. Justin Leonard, former British Open champion,
Right.
140. Camilo Villegas started out the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. He was the first round leader.